Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. The athletes that occupy Mount Olympus, the people whose names are synonymous with their sport, they've got off days too. Days where maybe they feel like doing nothing besides eating 14 pizzas and scrolling on their phone all day. But one of those athletes, tennis star Venus Williams, has written a book about the steps she takes to keep herself from doing just that, at least not all of the time. It's called Strive, and she spoke with NPR's Michel Martin about finding the balance between constant grinding and finding time for rest. That's coming up.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Betterment, the automated investing and savings app. CEO Sarah Levy shares how Betterment utilizes tech tools powered by human advice.
Betterment is here to help customers build wealth their way. And we provide powerful technology and complete human support where technology can deliver ease of use and affordability, and the people behind that technology can provide advice and guidance.
Learn more at Betterment.com. Investing involves risk. Performance not guaranteed.
If you follow sports at all, Venus Williams is a person who needs no introduction. Over a 30-year career in tennis, she's stacked her mantle with 7 Grand Slam singles titles, 14 Grand Slam doubles, 4 Olympic medals, among other accolades. She is also a serial entrepreneur. Along the way, she's developed a roadmap to physical, mental, and emotional health, which she wants to tell us about in a new book. It's called Strive, and it details the 8 steps Venus says she lives by, a program she hopes others can follow in order to find their awesome, as she puts it. And Venus Williams is with us now. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. So, Venus, we've spoken before, and I've always talked with you about your business ventures. I don't know if people realize that you always have had a lot going on besides tennis. I mean, fashion, interior design, nail art. How does this book fit into your many other interests?
This book is really kind of the story of my life. A lot of people would write a biography, and I would write a book about health and wellness. And also the story of my life as an athlete and kind of the lessons I've learned, but in the lens of wellness too. And in this book too, I don't just share like all the positive things. I share the mistakes that I've made too. Like what I learned from not to do again. I call it, I made this mistake so you don't have to.
Like what? Name one.
I think, with the U.S. Open just ending, one of my biggest lessons was a really big loss at the U.S. Open where I was headed to play the final and would have faced my sister. I was only 19, but, I wasn't able to move forward. I wasn't able to get past my own fears and get past myself, and ultimately lost the match. And it was just devastating. And I had to learn from that and had to take a look at myself. I had to observe myself, which is one of the 8 steps in Strive, and to figure out why that happened, what I could do better. And I also had to let go of fear too. So it was a lesson I had to learn young, but it was a huge lesson. And it was, a failure along the way that ultimately served to be a big plus in my life. It's just about how you treat failure. And it was just a moment. And that's how I look at failure.
The 8 steps are observe, appreciate, balance, enrich, soothe, believe, inspire. Which of the 8, if you think of it this way, do you find hardest to do? I know, I'll just tell you for me this, one of the chapters on nutrition, you were saying, look, don't just think, change your diet, think in each instance, what is best for me in this moment. And I have to say, I was a little irritated this morning because I really wanted that pumpkin chai latte. But I had just read your book and you were like, what's the best choice that you can make right now? And I realized that was not it. I'm still a little salty about that.
Yeah.
But what about for you? Is one of these harder for you than others?
Harder for me than others is definitely finding balance and, making decisions that all of a sudden lead my life to a place where I'm just completely spinning too many plates, so to speak. And also I want to congratulate you on that choice. And it gets easier over time.
I don't know.
You gave yourself a great pep talk. You reframed it. And reframing is one of the easiest things you can do. And there is no limit. It's free.
Thanks for that. But I'm still thinking about it. You mentioned in the book that you live with an autoimmune disease, Sjogren's syndrome. I would not have raised it if you had not in the book. You talked about thinking about how you could just power through it and you realized that you couldn't. So how did that change you?
Yeah, I realized I had to find more balance. I had to have a lifestyle change. I had to take more moments for myself. I had to rest more, things that I wasn't necessarily used to. And if I didn't do that, then I was never going to go back to tennis.
Is that a hard thing to talk about? I mean, the fact is, if you weren't a world-class athlete, we wouldn't necessarily be all up in your business like that. Does it feel good to kind of release that, or does it feel like another aspect of celebrity that perhaps you wish weren't the case?
It was not easy to share because the first thing that I was thinking about was like, I don't want my opponents to know. As an athlete, you're invincible. No one looks at you and says, oh, she has a chronic illness. It's like, oh, there's a champion, hopefully, if you can make it that far, right? So it wasn't something easy. I don't think it was something I wanted to share. My mom encouraged me to do so. And I think it's been for the best. There's been so many people who tell me they've been diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome. And I think it's just been helpful to give a name to it, too, because there are a lot of people who do live with it.
Venus Williams' latest book is Strive, 8 Steps to Find Your Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Washington Wise, an original podcast from Charles Schwab that unpacks the stories making news in Washington, including 2024 election updates and potential implications for the market. Listen at schwab.com/WashingtonWise.
This message comes from Schwab. When it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices, like full-service wealth management and advice when you need it most. You can also invest on your own and trade on thinkorswim, Schwab's powerful award-winning trading platforms. Plus, you'll get low costs, transparent pricing, and 24/7 live help. Schwab understands it's your financial journey, and they believe you should have choices in how you invest. Learn more at schwab.com.